Welcome in, everybody. This is Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin. I'll be the one on a big spoon.
A big pudding.
Primary purpose of this podcast is to educate and share thoughts and opinions. When we have proof and evidence on a topic, it will be brought forth. This podcast does not constitute advice or services to anyone. Spoon and Puddin do not accept any responsibility or liability for anyone, our guests, or anyone's comments or actions based on the material we talk about on the podcast. This podcast is private, non-commercial use, and everyone should ascertain that the information we provide is correct and verified at all times. There shall be no adding to, editing, or reproduction of this podcast without prior written permission from Spoon and Puddin. You can reach us at realtalkwithspoonandpuddin@gmail.com. What's going on, Puddin?
Not much. What'd you do yesterday? Working?
Worked. Woke up enough to watch a little bit of the ball game and listen to it while I worked.
I just care about my free meal whenever it comes around.
Your free meal. Well, you didn't get one this year.
No, you got one back. You still ain't paid up from 3 years ago, so
I've offered. You just want the
I
high
just
dollar. You just want them high dollar meals.
yeah, I want them $100 meals. What do you mean high dollar? Come on now, Texas Roadhouse is fine. That high dollar?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's compared to like a
Compared to what? What do you want to take me
you
to?
mean?
You want to give me? Yeah, exactly. You want to give me that McDouble for my wins? No, I can do that.
I give you a bacon McDouble and a fry. You know what's wrong
Oh,
with
come
that?
on now. Shit. Why don't you just give me some roller gear? Make me a roller grillionaire or whatever the hell you want to call it, man. So. I don't know. You and your. I don't. Like I said, I ain't been paying attention to much news myself. I'm just waiting for everything to fall apart.
Well, your boys got spanked again by LSU, who we rolled over last week.
I
So.
have no idea. I didn't watch. Don't care.
And Big Orange is still rolling. That's all I care about.
Yeah, they'll figure out a way to screw it up somehow.
You're right. We'll probably lose somebody like Vanderbilt. That'd be a shame.
I seen somebody making fun of Vanderbilt for being woke or something. I did notice.
Georgia thrashed them 55-0.
What, Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
They didn't even let them get a field goal.
What I had done.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, just what's going on in the campaign and upcoming election. Starting this week, early voting starts the 19th. And in Portland, you can vote early voting the 20th and 21st at First Baptist Church here in town.
I heard your candidate was shuffling the old people around, or your running mate, or whatever you want to call it. You're going against mate there. That's what I hear. I don't know.
Talk about Callis?
Yeah.
Well, I hope people.
I heard he was staging events with the old people to toilet paper his house and then taking them to get signed up to vote. You know.
Well, I hope people understand and they're paying attention that of all the fakeness that's going on, right? All these videos and pictures and comments and charades that's going on, like, oh, look at me here, look at all the good things I'm doing, and all this. I hope they're paying attention to all the fakeness. Not just him, both of them. You know, I've heard from many people, you need to get out more and you need to do this and do that, which I put myself out there and I'll have a conversation with anybody. I'm going to have another meet and greet. And I don't know where I'm going to have it, maybe the park or something. But I'm going to continue to be me. All the other two candidates for mayor, all they're doing is they're vote getting, right? That's what they're doing. They're not being themselves. They're not being real. They're trying everything possible to get votes. And I guess if it works for them, it works for them. But if y'all want somebody fake, that's what the people want. So I guess that's what they'll get.
I thought this was new. Oh no, that's old. I'm trying to find that. I thought I seen something from September.
Well, I forgot my postcard. I don't know what I done with it because I got a postcard from the Callis team. But he wants to talk about how great Portland is, and I'm not saying Portland's not. It could be a whole lot better, and talk about all that they've done. But they only give you half truths, right? He don't want to be 100% transparent with the people and tell the whole story. Whereas me, I'm going to tell the whole story. If I was sitting in his position, I would tell the whole story. So if I get in his position, all the things that's wrong that need to be fixed a long time ago, we're going to go to work to fix them. We're not going to walk around town and show up at every event that we can and create events so we can get on there and post a little video saying, well, look where I'm at today, and look what I'm supporting and what I'm doing.
I rode by the old folks' home and brought some votes over here, let them feel like they were doing something,
Yeah,
so they'd go vote for me.
What do you got to be fake for?
Well, like I said, this knowing the people in this election and riding around town has given me a lot of insight that the people who have the most signage are the ones you should least vote for. Period. No, seriously, because they're the biggest problems in town, and they're the ones that want it the most, and they're the ones that seem to spend the most on putting their signage up.
Well, they don't spend it. They have people.
Well, they get people that they've made promises to. Oh, don't worry, I get in there. I'm gonna send you a no bid contract that's gonna double what you invested. That's the guy.
I have asked nobody for money. I haven't made nobody any promises. I've done it all myself because nobody's getting any special treatment. I have no gains in anything from anyone, and nor am I going to allow that. And I'm not too naive to know that with him being a preacher or a part-time preacher now, whatever you want to call, and him being affiliated with church and him doing all his antics, and he has a whole lot of people fooled to think he's this great Christian man, and he may be this great Christian man, but what does that have to do with running the city? I myself am a Christian man.
That was what it was. Vanderbilt was they were trying to promote gender surgery. It says Vanderbilt pauses gender surgery for those under 18. I seen something on YouTube the other day about it.
Why would they be promoting gender surgery?
There was a lady giving a speech about gender surgery and underage and stuff, but it says that's on the Blaze. There's Vanderbilt University Medical Center pauses transgender surgery for minors. So it was. There it is right there. Let me change the volume. I always too bright when I do that. But I seen somebody talking about it. But see, there it is.
But why would you even have to pause gender surgery for underage?
You shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
Exactly.
I mean, well, no, I seen somebody on YouTube about a week and a half ago or a week ago talking about it, and they were playing some lady who was promoting some woke BS that's coming down the line, and they're like, "Is Vanderbilt this?" And they were making fun of them. And then you mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh, there was something recently I seen."
Well, you got to understand about this woke generation, whatever you want to call them, and then you got the parents that allow their children to get gender. That should be at the top of the list of child abuse, right
Don't
there.
like don't like Bill Maher because he's a Democrat, but he's against it. He said it. He said if we've got more underage transgender children in Los Angeles and it's an uncomparable number to say Ohio, then you parents are the ones making it. You know, it's not natural. You're making it. You know, and
What's
then
like that? That's like when they try to say there's more than two genders.
well, he was the one. He went on a tirade and was tearing them apart, and I was like, wow, kind of.
You're either born with a
Well, he was his was pretty funny. Like one day I wanted to be an astronaut, the next day I wanted to be a T Rex. I'm glad there wasn't Tyrannosaurus Rex reassignment surgery on the day I wanted to be a T Rex.
oh
Or
my gosh. You're either born a man or you're born a woman. As the little girl said in Kindergarten Cop, that movie way back in the 80s, boys have penises, girls have vaginas. End of story.
that movie couldn't get produced today. It had too much common sense in it.
Oh yeah.
But see, I wish I could have went back 20 years ago and made a bet with you that you would be seeing this. I could have bet you at your house and you'd have bet me.
Well, I mean, you can do any of that. Like, you go back to when my dad was a kid. Do you think that if you would bet, I would have bet him, or you would have bet him money that he'd been carrying around a little cellular phone that was stronger than the first space shuttle that went up into space, and
Supposedly.
that could do anything he wanted to do, and the technology we have today? Do you think which side do you think he'd been on? I know what side he'd been on. He thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
You'd have won that bet. I mean, I guess that's the way the world works.
Well, the world's always changing. I mean, it's never
But
going to stop changing.
but the evil, you'll never ever rid the world of evil,
Well,
and
you can't.
that's all that is evil.
It's not. It's not ridding it. I don't even know if that's evil. It just seems stupid.
What It's that too, but it is evil.
Yeah, but how can people have people gotten so? Is it because your phone's gotten so smart that you've gotten so stupid?
Well, yeah, I mean,
You
you talk
know,
about it all the time. The people of the day are far, far stupid compared to what our forefathers were.
now
Technology
there's
does not make you smarter.
there are smart people, but there, it's.
Not the ones in DC. I can tell you that.
I seen a rally the other day with AOC or something. And somebody had a camera. They want to put her up as a poster child, like she's something special. And there was some rally where she rented an auditorium, and it was pathetic.
Who was
Absolutely,
who was it?
AOC woman at Alexandria Ocasio Cortez or
Oh,
whatever.
Cortez.
Yeah, but somebody had a camera sitting in the middle of it and started panning around the room. There was a protester had a big sign, like one of those big Dillard or Callis signs, the huge ones. It said "Oust AOC" #Oust AOC. He was standing on the wall. There was like one person, and he started panning around the room. And there was probably less than 50 people in this auditorium. And it was like, so it was kind of a laugh. He's like, where is everybody? He's like, you don't understand. Nobody's listening. Nobody cares. People hate these people, but the
But they keep
media,
electing them.
the media puts them up like they're poster children, you know. It's just like, when you went up there with your shirt and to talk about their thing, they played an angle up there. And I mean, is that conspiracy? Is it thinking too far into it? But they wouldn't show your shirt, Charles Cole for mayor. They didn't want to
No,
show that.
no, they had to keep changing the angle.
They changed the angle. It's like
Well,
somebody instructed somebody to not have just a normal
well,
back
it's
angle.
it's just like who controls the money. A short list of rich people who own the banks and control the money.
Yeah.
The short list of people who owns the media and controls.
Yesterday, me and your neighbor was talking about that, and I told him, I said,
He ain't still mad
"Hey,
at us, is he?
no, I don't think he's mad at it." He said something about where's your podcast from last Sunday, and then he said it was pending. I guess you got rid of that. I don't know.
It's on there. I told
Well,
you it was on there.
when I pulled up, it was, I seen last week's, there was that second one that we didn't use. You had two.
What I did is I started the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I came back to the computer, I didn't see it, so I started a second one.
I told him, I said, well, I'll click the most recent one always to enter the studio that way. And then he says, well, it still says pending. I don't know. And then I watched one with you and Red and my cop hating friends. And like, no, it's not about cop haters. I hate that. Why? Having diversity is a spice of life,
Yeah,
having people from different walks of life will, you can learn a lot more. You'll learn more from having somebody who's in a field just chit chatting with them.
I
Like
don't,
I
I
said,
don't,
he's been somebody I've asked a lot of questions about, because what was his life like as a sheriff, especially from Cook County.
right.
Whew. That's where
You know, I hadn't known him long because he hadn't been here that long, and I'm
he
not.
says you don't ever talk to him. Uh-huh.
Why?
I'm just messing with you. I'm picking up.
I love that guy, dude.
He's crazy.
He can say we're cop haters, but he's retired military and retired cop, and I love that dude.
No, would we be in this place today if we had cops like him? No, I don't think so.
No,
No, you get the little 5'3" guy that could hula hoop through a damn Cheerio, running around trying to pound some woman's head on the concrete for a damn seatbelt ticket or some shit. And then that shit gets out, and everybody's like, "Well, what the fuck are you doing?" And people want to wonder why people hate. It's because you see cop videos from dash cams of somebody doing something they absolutely should not fucking do.
right. Well, and we have a lot of good cops in this town. Uh, but I've had these conversations with
The
different
bad
people.
apples rise to the top, though.
Well, yeah, but even though they're good police officers, we have a lot of them. They're not people friendly, right?
Well, they get
Uh,
into that. I guess in a lot of ways they get in there and they think, well, I gotta be over here and back to blue, and it's like, no,
well, I'm just saying, if you see them,
back to Constitution.
if you see them in Mapco or something, and you try to talk to them or mess with them, they're an a-hole to you, like they're better than you, and that's not all of them. That's a big chunk of them. And I've had conversations with different people, like the county. It seems like when you deal with the county sheriffs, you get a whole different outcome and one-on-one time than you do with the city police officers.
The sheriffs are elected. I mean, their boss is elected.
Right.
He has to answer to the people, and
Well,
I'm sure. Well, no, I mean, the
maybe we need to
city
change it to where the chief is elected, and maybe his officers would act different.
probably. I guarantee it would if the Chiefs were elected. But
I'm not saying
how are you gonna
job.
get that? I didn't say they weren't doing their well. What is their job though? I mean, honestly, I mean the thing about the seatbelt was the one that I like. I love to go to the seatbelt because trust me, if you don't put on your seatbelt, you're the victim. And why are you trying to impose a penalty that is lucrative to the state because you didn't want to throw a belt across your damn lap?
I love it, especially in the states like Kentucky, where you can ride a motorcycle without a helmet. Your kids are on the bus without a seatbelt, but they'll pull you over. A motorcycle cop will pull you over to give you a seatbelt ticket. Does anybody not see the irony in that?
No,
It's comical.
No, the seatbelt is something that absolutely there should never be a citation for it. Never. Never, never, never. Nobody should ever be able to stop you for it. I was stopped by a sheriff for. I might not have had it on, but when I seen him pull out behind me, it come on real quick.
If I'm in my personal vehicle, I can tell you I don't have it on.
Well, it came on real quick, and then I put it under my arm. And as he walked up, he seen it under my arm, and he's like, "Well, you're wearing that improperly." And I said, "I wear it in semi."
What's the proper way to wear it?
Proper way is it's my choice. It should be my choice. It should be my freedom. I shouldn't have to play these stupid.
Yeah, but when they say you're not wearing it properly, where's the law that states how you're supposed to wear it?
It's properly or not. I don't think there should be a law.
Well, I understand. It's unconstitutional. I'm just saying, where's the law that states this is how you wear the
that
seatbelt?
was Mike. One guy Mike said something about it. Let me go look it up real quick. You go ahead.
But what I was getting at is, like, I work in Kentucky a lot. Like, I go to 5 Star, about every night, and there'll be city cops and uh, sheriffs come in there, and I cut up with them, talk to them, mess with them, and we have a good experience. But it seems like in this town, you don't get that same experience with most of them, but you do with the sheriffs. Like, I had a good experience with the Gallatin police every time I dealt with them. Why do we, as a city, don't have the same connecting relationship with most of the police officers? I'm not going to say all of them. I'm going to say most of them. Not saying they're bad police officers or they don't do their job on the uh, technical side, but part of being a good, solid police officer is connecting with your community, right?
Yeah.
Not being an a-hole. If somebody walks up to you talking, cutting up, not be an a-hole and ignore them or tell them to go and leave you alone or anything like that.
I guess it's gotten to, maybe it's a point that so many cops today are just so used to the citizenry.
Well,
Just
I think a lot of it's the government's fault where they've turned the police officer into just a secondary military.
well, it's what it will be.
Well, it already is. It's all well on its way.
When you've got when all you have is a hammer, everything's a nail. That's an old Japanese slogan.
Right.
That was
But when you have city police officers who have ARs in their trunk and full body armor and
no.
tasers
I've
and
made that.
handguns and
I made that comment to him. I've told him that before, but it was I don't remember if it was a 13th or somewhere in the 14th Amendment. But Mike was saying something about when you're driving a truck and you're in a seatbelt, it's a violation of the Constitution. And I thought it was an interesting perspective because you're chained to your job or tied to your job.
right.
But still, I mean, the seatbelt thing has always been something I'll hammer on.
What's
Just because that one meme where the cop pulled somebody over for a seatbelt and he's like, "Well, sir," he's like, "Well, I don't want to wear a seatbelt." Like, "Well, I'm gonna give you a ticket." "Okay, what if I don't want to pay the ticket?" "Well, we're gonna issue a bench warrant." "Well, what if I don't come to court? What if I ignore the bench warrant?" "Well, we're gonna come to your house and arrest you." And he's like, "What if when you come in my house, I feel like I need to defend myself with a gun? We'll shoot you." And he's like, and he's kind of looking at him. "So you're pulling me over for not wearing a seatbelt to save my life, and in the end of this, if I refuse to comply with all of your orders, you're going to come and kill me anyway.
Yeah,
So what was the point?"
yeah, exactly.
Stupid shit.
It's not about your life. It's about
It's about their compensation and their
yeah.
money. You're driving on their roadways, and you could hurt yourself.
It's a revenue stream. That's all it is.
Well, no, goes into the general fund to help buy those ARs in the trunk that they don't need. I mean, I'm not going to say they don't need them, okay, but is there another way to do it?
Well,
Like,
most cities have a SWAT team and
well,
detectives and everything for different scenarios.
I understand that, but I mean, I'm not saying isn't there a better way to do it though. That's what I'm saying.
We ought to go back to Mayberry and give each officer a gun with one bullet, like Barney had.
There's that's not going
Okay, we give him 2 bullets. I'm sorry.
to. You have 2 bullets. All right. Well, you're going to have a Derringer. Andy didn't need it. That was Griffith. He was just cool and collected. But I mean, it's not even. We've just come into an area where I'm not saying they don't need ARs, but why do the people got to pay for them? Why is there was a thing in Tennessee, I remember this was something I applauded Obama on because there was a city in South Central Tennessee. I don't remember the name of the city, but this was back in like 15, I think. The city had figured out how to get AR or M4s from the military. They figured out how to file the paperwork to get, M4s sent over from the military surplus. And the city had there was one AR-15 for every person that lived it was a little town, like a little town, like say Cotton Town or something over there,
Right.
got down a New Deal or one of these little bitty cities like that with a little city police force, but figured the paperwork out, and they went in their vault. I remember seeing it on a news program a long time ago, but there's like 900 and something AR or M4s from the military in there, and the town was like 1,000 people. It's
Right.
like, what the hell? They figured out how to streamline the paperwork, but Obama went and was recalling those weapons. He was bringing the weapons back. He was, taking the military stuff away from the police because there were some of them that figured out how to get Bradley fighting vehicles and tanks and all kinds of BS. And I'm like, what the hell? But
I'm gonna build me another killdozer.
a killdozer? Oh,
Yeah.
come on now.
Remember the guy with the killdozer?
Yeah, he didn't kill nobody.
They killed a whole lot of friggin' buildings.
Yeah, he lashed out. He did get his lashings in. He gave him his pound of flesh, didn't he?
Well, that draws back to your sitting Mayor Callis, where he preaches about public safety, more police officers, more fire stations, more fire engines, more double the fire department, all that stuff. All that draws back to getting votes. That's all it does. You're spending money. Y'all sitting up there spending money like you're the Kardashians, and we all know public safety is number one. But there's a right and wrong way to do it. Just like wanting 4 fire stations and doubling the firemen. Of course, would everyone in the city want a fire station at all 4 corners in one dead center of town and have enough to make sure that the firemen are there in 2 or 3 minutes no matter what happens? Sure. But you got to have the funds and the means to make that happen. So you got to crawl before you walk instead of, hey, let's spend $100 million. It doesn't matter if we go to the people and make them pay it for the next 50 years. Let's just go ahead and do it. It's not a way to do it.
Well, I mean, he's
that's
like just all the other politicians.
Well, like in that forum. That's why I waited to the end to say anything about public safety. I'm like, I didn't mention it in any other questions because it's like a given, right? We know we need a police department. Do we need one huge? That's up for debate. We know we need the fire department. We know we have to upgrade their equipment. We have to buy them equipment. We have to provide them vehicles. That's a given. Why do we have to sit here and preach to the masses about?
Well, because he's sucked in every other fucking department. So why the hell,
He's got to kiss their butts so he makes him look good. What?
I know. I mean, he just, he has nothing. He's done nothing good for the town for almost 4 years.
I wouldn't say
what business has come here other than Planet Fitness?
Well, I understand, but I wouldn't say he hadn't done anything good.
No, what new do we have? You have Top of the Ridge that moved up here, but I liked it better when it was over at Bottom View. I mean,
well, it's closer to you then.
Well, I mean, even out there, no, the setting was better. I'd rather be over there in the country, honestly, myself, than sitting there on that shitty square that nobody cares about.
Well, I think she got a raw deal out there, so she had to do something different.
Oh, Hobbit said Shorty there, Hobbits or Shorties or whatever you want to call it. You call her the Hobbits.
It's still Let's Go Brandon.
It's still what?
Dave commented, it's still Let's Go Brandon.
But I'm saying you got it wasn't that. I like the setting out there at the Top of the Ridge.
Well, yeah, I understand. I like the setting out there too.
No, it was real country and quaint, What? Not even about what she's saying, that she heard the food was better when it was out there in the country.
That's why we go to White House to eat.
She says she doesn't like. That's why we go to White House and eat.
Oh, that Top of the Ridge has got pretty good food.
Dude, no, it's like 109 restaurant. She was talking about that last night. I guess it's closed now or under new management or something.
Yeah,
like the barbecue pit. None of this stuff in town is any good. The people in Portland go and shop there because they're too lazy to drive to a place where you could actually get a good meal for the same price.
No. It's not all bad.
I don't know. That 76 Tavern in White House was really good, and it wasn't expensive.
Tavern 76. But it's the same. I've been there 2 or 3 times in a row. It's been good, and I've been there a couple times in a row, and it's been bad.
For me, I mean, got some places on the. I don't know, man. There's too much. Gallatin, White House, and Franklin have too much to offer.
Well, I understand that's what we got to change for our
But
town.
what I'm saying is you look at what they have to offer, and some of the stuff wasn't there a couple of years ago. What's Callis brought it in? No, nothing. He hasn't done nothing. He's listening to his bosses, the people that own the two banks in town that circulate all the money in town.
The good old boys that make all the decisions.
You know, um, it's
Well,
not ridiculous.
that's why they want him in there because
Well, that's they
he's
like to say there is no good old boys club, and it's like
oh yeah,
yeah.
they found that he's easy to control and they know where they stand with him, so they want him in there.
Well, it's not that he's easy to control; it's that he won't go against the grain and do his job. That's that's the whole reason you're running, because he won't do his damn job. He won't listen to nobody, and then he just like his half truth is, well, yeah, we can talk about fluoride. Get with an alderman and get it on the agenda. Well, we're standing here. I'm talking to you. I'm telling you it's a neurotoxin. I'll tell you, I can show you the stats that y'all have given me from my FOIA request.
Well, they don't want to hear the truth. He just wants to tell people what his truth is.
The thing is, speak to me like I'm an adult and don't, if the city gets $4,000 to buy $2,000 in fluoride, and that's $2,000 that you can waste in another department for your votes, well, then say that. Don't sidestep it. That's my point. Because wouldn't we be better off saving $2,000 from buying the poison? And you showed me that thing. Wasn't it you that sent me that this week, where that guy had slowly reduced his fluoride input in the water?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I sent you one, but it was from InfoWars, and you sent me one from ABC or something.
It was the same one, wasn't it?
No, they were from different sources.
Dave Cates says Franklin Steakhouse is great, good food with great service.
That's the one. Is that the one on the square?
I don't know. I think the one he's talking about is probably over there where it used to be the old Waffle House across from Cracker Barrel.
Okay. Now I went to one little place up there. You go by the square where we got Regions Bank on the square in Franklin, and then you go on out 100 like you're heading west, and there's one right there. And it was pretty good.
Scott Harmon says, "What kind of term is on the payback for that mega loan for the fire department?" Well, they ain't got the mega loan for the fire department yet, but they will. Here a couple months ago, I don't know if I still have it here or not. They borrowed $6 million from a place up in Clarksville.
See, yours was from AP. There it was. Mine, the one I sent was from InfoWars, and yours was from AP. But it was a water superintendent in Vermont town. Resume usual fluoride. But the story was he had been reducing the fluoride, and trying to, because he knew the fluoride was poison, and he wasn't adding it to the water the way he was supposed to. And he got in trouble or something. Isn't that the story?
Yeah, he got in trouble because he was over time he was slowly reducing, and
he was. But that's what I'm saying about Callis. It's you're the executive. You could make the decision to get the fluoride out tomorrow. Why not do it? We'll lose money. Who cares? Money ain't everything, buddy.
Scott, I can tell you this: they borrowed a couple of months ago. They went to a
place in Clarksville,
some kind of firm in Clarksville, and borrowed $6 million. So this was to pay for two fire engines.
Now he's touting that $4 million or almost $5 million in the bank is money they've got, rainy day fund. He's got it spent.
He's talking about we got $4 million surplus rainy day fund and wants to get $5 million, but we're over $50 million in debt. So if you want to know what kind of term on the payback of the money we already have borrowed, I think the payments go through the year 2052 or the year 2053. So put that in perspective. My oldest daughter is fixing to turn 25. So if she has a child next year, I have a grandchild. My grandchild will be graduated from college. still paying off the debt that we owe right now if we don't borrow another penny as a city. And if that's not eye-opening to the people, I don't know what is. And that's why I say we have to put in perspective of what
I'm
we
trying to go
want.
back and I'm trying to. You sent it to me, didn't you?
What?
The terms on that loan.
Yeah, I think I did, but I couldn't find it here in my stash over here. So that's why I said we got to put it in perspective of the things we want and the things that we can afford and what the necessities are now. It's just like the water issue we're having. This has been an ongoing problem for 20, 30, 40 years. The mayor said in the meeting here 3 or 4 months ago that he admitted to the people, even though he's been in politics in this town for over 20 years, he admitted to the people, I spent my first 3 years concentrating on the sewer, which only affects about a third of the population. But this last year, because it's election year, he didn't say because it's election year. I'm saying that I'm going to concentrate on water. We're going to fix the water issue. But they cherry pick who they give taps out to, right? At some point, you got to stop and say, all right, I don't care if you're my friend. I don't care if you're a relative. I don't care whatever you're cherry picking. We got to stop the bleeding. Nobody's getting any new taps. We're not putting any new subdivisions. We're not putting any new warehouses until we fix
There it is.
till we fix the internal bleeding, fix the water problem. But they don't do that. They cherry pick who they give the taps to, and then they tell other people no, and then they want to set on, well, we have to give these taps so we can get the fees and get this and that and get that money in the city that helps us do this. No, you're creating more of a problem. It's like a company wasting a dime to save a nickel. It's no different.
A lot of people do it though. Step on a dollar to save a dime.
Yep.
I
See, Dave.
thought I found it.
Dave Puddin's the same. He's in the country on well water. That's how I grew up too. Scott. Yeah, you're right. The only reason they hadn't come to the people this year for raising the land taxes is because it's election year, right? It looked bad on him. So if he gets reelected, I can guarantee you next year land
Well,
taxes
in 2020, all the taxes. I remember, Mikey, stepson up there in town, right there on the airport. His taxes. He called me like, my mortgage went up like $80 a month or something. It's over 800 now or something. And he couldn't believe it. And I said, well, what's your taxes? What was it? What is it now? And it went up big time.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it's going to go up again next year. I guarantee you.
he'll wait till the off year and he'll go and he'll tweak in the taxes. And it's, I got to talk to that guy I know in town who's a renter, somebody I know that I've talked to. He's talking about the half-cent raise and saying that I'm against the half-cent raise. And I'm like, it's not a half-cent raise. You're expecting me to pay 9.75%, which is just going to be more of a motivator to drive on into Kentucky.
Yeah, but you got to understand this. Me and you're both on the same page. We never want to raise taxes. We don't want them coming to the people asking for more money. But if the city votes it in, the people votes it in, the city gets 100% of the profits of that 0.5% or that half a cent, which on last year's number is equal to, I think it was like $1.2 million, right? Mm-hmm. Every other part, if you go over to Robertson County, which is still in the city where Baldwin Parkway is, or the hotel or any of that, you're paying the 9.75. Anywhere in Robertson County White House, you're paying 9.75. I'm pretty sure in Gallatin, Hendersonville, you're paying the 9.75. So if you don't vote it in, the people don't vote it in to get the 100% of the half-cent, the county can go just say, hey, we're going to do it.
Because the county's your granddaddy.
But listen, the county can just say, we're going to do it. They don't have to vote it in. They can just say, we're doing it uniform all the way around. Then they get 51% of the profits and the city only gets 49. So it's going to happen. So if it's going to happen, you might as well go ahead and vote it in and get 100% of the proceeds.
But why would the county do that? Because the budget's so damn bad? because they borrowed too much money. I know you sent it to me. Did you send it to me on Messenger?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. You sent it to me, and I thought, man, that's a shitty deal.
Scott, that's the same in this town. A lot of these factories that they got to
Oh,
come in
they
here,
subsidize a bunch of the shit.
yeah, they don't have to pay any taxes. They
Mm-hmm.
done a study, was it 2019, I think, out of 41, I think it was 41 factories in this town, only 19 of them pay taxes. And there were several of them that never paid a dime in taxes and never will, because that's the deal they got to come to the city. So it will always come back to the people. You're going to pay more in land taxes. Your water bill is going to go up. Your sewage bill is going to go up. Garbage is going to go up. Gas is going to go up. They were talking about, I guess they already did it, about raising the water and sewer and gas bill $5 for every person for a month, right? Just to try to offset some of the costs. But they never, that's what I'm talking about. They don't tell you the full truth about everything. Like the mayor going around telling about Portland's a great place to be, and look at me, I'm at the old folks' home, and I'm gonna give them a ride so they can go vote and get them registered. And I'm at the football game eating at the Panther Den. I'm doing like, you're doing all this stuff to collect votes, and you want to tell about all the good things that's going on, but you don't want to talk about the bad things. I had somebody ask me the other day, why is this mayor so against the organizations being around town, like on the square, back in the parking lot, handing out food and things to the people that need it? And I said, I can't answer that. I mean, he's a man of God. Why would he be against that? Well, he told us that it looks bad and that Portland looks like it's just a big town of beggars. And I said, well, him being a big man, a preacher of God, I think that would look good for him in the town. You got Hands of
Yeah,
Hope.
well,
You
it
got
wouldn't
Pay It.
be.
You got Pay It Forward. You got these organizations that do all this stuff for the people of the community. And I understand there's some of them that probably don't need the help, but they take the help anyway and they abuse it. I understand all that. But when you have those organizations that are here to help your community, and God bless Ashley with Pay It Forward, she works so hard, does so many things for this community, and people abuse her and everything else. And so does the city. I can't understand why the city wouldn't get back and support them more than they do, instead of run them off from the city places saying, well, our town looks like a bunch of beggars. We don't want y'all giving away food and stuff here on our property. First of all, that's not y'all property. It's the people's property. That city hall that you're sitting in, that $500 probably chair, making $100,000 a year or whatever you're making, that ain't your building. It's the people's building. That parking lot is the people's parking lot.
That's why
So
the people are there begging, because you done paid yourself and spent too much of the money
So if you
that
have
you got to tax
real,
them out of fucking existence. You
so
idiot.
if you have real nonprofit organizations that donate their time, money, and everything else to give back to the people of this community, don't run them off. Don't say our town looks like a bunch of beggars, because
Well, they can't afford to eat because their
in
mortgages keep
in
going up
in
because you keep raising taxes.
everything that you do, in everything that you do, whether you're mayor, you're sitting on that council, or anything else to do with the city that you get paid by tax dollars, the people should be number one.
That's not. That'll never happen.
But it should be. The
I
people
know
should
it
be number
should
one.
be. I know it should be. But the current mayor is a hypocrite and doesn't practice what he preaches. In
And,
no way.
most of them up there don't.
No, that's why I
And,
don't.
and I'm not
Again,
saying all this so I can get elected. Of course, I want it to make a difference. I want to be the people's voice. I want things to be better in this community. But the number one thing is I want people to get out
and
and
if you
vote.
don't take the fluoride out of the damn water, I'm gonna kick you square in the nuts.
The number one thing is I want people to get out and vote, but I want people to realize what really is happening, what's really going on, and not continue to fall victim to their little charades
I
and
want you to
their
expose the
fakeness.
corruption. I mean, if anything, because
Well,
there is a lot of it. I mean, I don't. Again, I don't, dude. I don't even know. Honestly, you sit around and we can't talk about the freest and fairest elections, but you know it was horseshit. You know it. Everyone knows it's horseshit. Do you believe anything about the way? I don't believe a damn thing about
it's
it.
the same thing with the people of this town. The people of this town know who the good old boys are. They know who's controlled and strangled and manhandled and made things go a certain direction in this town, and it continues today. They all know it. They all want change. They'll tell you, we want this gone. We want these
But
people
you
to
don't.
stop
But
control.
they
But
want it.
but they won't stand up and speak out in
No, they
public.
want to stand. They'll speak out at the end of the forum, Mike Hall, and say, "I'm not part of the good old boys club, and I don't know what it is." Well, if you're speaking about it, it must exist, bud. And
So
if you don't want to be the change you aspire to be in the world, Mike, well, Mister Hall, you need to go. I'm
so
sorry.
so I'm going to tell you this. Be forewarned. It's probably happened many times. If people tell you that Mr. Big Spoon or Charles Cole running for mayor is just an a-hole or a troublemaker, the reason they're telling you that is because they have things to hide, and I'm not afraid to tell the truth. I don't care if they like me.
They don't want you to put their skid marked Hershey Highway drawers out on display in the town square. You know, they done shit in their britches. It's hanging out there. Let them see it. I mean, but that was what makes me mad. You know, you're not being the change you aspire to see in the world. That's no, you're a corrupt piece of shit. That's all there is to it. Just like the rest of you. You know, Megan Thompson, you corrupt piece of shit. You know, try to keep your businesses or no competing businesses to yours. You know, Five Chefs would be what? Five Chefs. Okay, all right. So what you saying now?
No, Scott Harmon said, Trey is the winner of the internet for the day. Your
What?
quote: If you don't take fluoride out of the water, I'm gonna kick you square in your nut.
That's what. Well, Imagine if Texas Roadhouse opened next door to Five Chefs. Would anybody go in Five Chefs anymore?
Well, yeah, I'm sure they would.
Well, the good old boys. They have their smoke-filled back room back there.
No, see, you're putting it in one angle.
Just saying. Would you
People
if you
just
had a
want
choice?
options.
Huh?
Yeah, but I'm not going to go to Texas Roadhouse every day.
I'm saying if you felt like a sit-down restaurant, would it be Texas Roadhouse or Five Chefs?
Well, of course, I would want both because you don't want the local business owner to go out of business, but you want to have options. Just like Top of the Ridge, I eat at Top of the Ridge a lot, but if Texas Roadhouse come in, of course I'm going to go to Texas Roadhouse quite a bit, but I'm still going to go to Top of the Ridge because I want that local business owner to stay in business too. I spread the wealth, what little wealth
The
I
people
have.
will make the decision in the end, and in your opinion, you know, let's say an Olive Garden or Texas Roadhouse opened up in town.
Well, I wouldn't want it in town.
It's gonna cost Megan Thompson's mama more to keep that Five Chefs open than it would even be worth it, honestly.
Yeah, but see, I don't want it in town, like not right in the middle. Put it out.
I didn't say right in
Yeah, I
town.
understand what you're saying, but
Put it out there by across from Taco Bell or something. I don't know.
well, see, what I'm trying to tell you is we want the town to grow, and we want more options, but we don't want to stranglehold and put our local businesses out of business.
The local businesses suck. That's why they're you know that's why
Yeah.
we're having this conversation.
Yes, Dave, the Top of the Ridge is on the square now. It was at Bottom View. And you're right. People are afraid of change. But I've talked to so many people and I've heard from so many people that they feel the same way that I do, right? But they won't come out and publicly say it. Why? I guess because they're afraid what people think or.
What do you?
I know some of it is because the people in control mistreat people that have something to do with the town, just like the real nonprofit charities that help the people of the town, right? they get harassed and abused, so they don't want to be publicly spoke out against them because they have something to lose. What do I have to lose?
Nothing. I mean,
You can de-annex me from the city, and I'll be happy. You do that today, and I'll drop out of the race.
you go get what you want.
I'll get what I want. I won't be part of the city. I won't be part of your problems. I won't have to pay you taxes.
You need to de-annex the Thompsons out there. I can't believe that, honestly. Now that like I said, knowing way out there and seeing the city limit sign move just past their driveway, I'm like,
well, the city
no. The city limit used to just go just past Drakewood Market. I remember it. It was right there where it went from a 4 to a 2. That was the old city limits.
Well, it's moved
10 years ago.
In every direction. It's moved further and further out.
It ain't moved closer to me, which thank goodness I wouldn't let them annex me. I don't want their stupid garbage. Yeah, if the city limits past my house, I would not. You would not annex this property.
I'll have to look for him next time I go in there, Dave. That's what I'm telling people. Like, where have we grown? Our city limits has gotten wider, and we've grown in population, and we've grown in dollar stores. But what else have we got?
When we was driving out we went to the Bell Witch play last night, the fall festival or whatever, and watched that spirit play.
Hey, we're talking about Portland. We're not supposed to be promoting stuff from Adams.
Okay, well, sorry.
Give me something to promote for this town.
What's the play? Oh, that's right. It's the Good Old Boys play. We need to set up a place in town and have a square where we can start the Good Old Boys play.
Isn't there a fall fest coming up in this town? You could have been promoting that. So
what the hell? I'm just saying that's where we went last night. But on the way out there, Hobbits was talking about all the dollar stores on the drive.
The Hobbit?
Yeah, she's like, wow, there's dollar stores everywhere on this drive too.
Well, I hear people talk all the time about the issue with drugs here, and not just what you would call illegal drugs, but prescription drugs. And how many people have an alcohol problem? I'm like, well, what do you expect? You have nothing to do in this town. Everybody's depressed, but you can hit up a dollar store after you
can do penny shopping.
After you go to the drugstore and get your hydrocodone or Percocets, and you stop by the liquor store and get your fifth of Wild Turkey or whatever, then you go to the dollar store and pick up your snacky snacks, and you go home and you get drunk and pop your pills and eat your snacky snacks. I mean, that's what the city's really come to.
Well, people don't look at metrics the correct way. It's just like everybody talks about the United States and how much money that's spent in the healthcare. And they're like, well, the United States spends, so it's got the most vibrant and most expensive healthcare in the world. That tells you got a bunch of sick people. Why are they sick?
Well, they want them sick.
Well, yeah, they pump all kinds of bullshit in them at the make heart attack, as you're driving through, getting you a cardiac arrest, on your way to the liquor store to go home and drown your sorrows.
Well, it's not only that, it's the chemicals they put in everything.
No, I know. Oh yeah, I've seen some stories about the chemicals, and
no, you don't dare say anything about the chemtrails up in the sky. That's not what they are.
Oh well, I didn't don my tinfoil hat. I keep it over there. People can say what they want to, but it's not. The metrics we're not having a good. It's not good.
That's pretty cool about that program, Dave. My wife works there. Sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I'm going to promote. I wasn't promoting Adams. I just thought it was interesting. It's a town. It's a town with a ghost fable that has turned the ghost fable into a revenue source.
Are y'all going again next week? No.
She asked me. She's like, "Well, do you think it was true?" And I said, "Well, it's about as true as that,
Hocus pocus."
No, I said it's about as true as that thing that so many people. Oh. Callus teaches from. Is my opinion.
Do not badmouth. Hey, do not badmouth the Bible.
I am an agnostic clown, and I can say what I want.
You're a freaking moron. Is what you are.
Okay, the Quran. Does that make you happier? It's as true as the Quran. It's a story, is it not? Are they all not stories?
Are you sure you're not Mormon?
Okay, yeah. Well, all right, you got me. I'm ready to be ready to go on out there with Romney. Mitty Romney and go live in the Salt Lake with the Mormons. Too expensive out there, shit. Oh Lordy, everything's so expensive. I'm stuck.
Speaking of the Mormon, those Utah Utes upset the
Who?
USC Trojans. The Utes.
I don't know. I told you I don't follow that shit.
What's a youth? I'm sorry, two U's.
Two Yuns.
U's.
Yuns?
U's.
Well, I thought we was in Tennessee. We talking Yuns.
You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Joe Pesci.
Go ahead.
What?
Which movie?
My Cousin Vinny. You don't know My Cousin Vinny?
I didn't. I thought that was so boring. I tried to watch it here recently, and I was like, oh,
What?
Stupid.
You're a moron.
Oh,
yeah,
please.
absolutely.
Garbage. I don't know.
What about High School High? Did you ever see that one?
Casino. That was a good one.
Well,
I watched that one. Yeah.
High School High with John Lovitz and Tia Carrere.
But no, I mean, no. Like I said, I've always heard the story. I'm sure you heard the story.
Oh yeah.
I was more interested in what they were going to portray on Andrew Jackson because he did visit there back around that time frame.
When I was a kid, the thing going around was see, even Dave said, he said, get the you know what out of here. He's never seen My Cousin Vinny. Was if he went to the bathroom and turned the light off and stared at the mirror and said, I hate the Bell Witch 5 times, she would appear.
They said something about 7 times on the candle.
Okay, maybe,
I don't believe
maybe,
in the
maybe it was 7 times.
And then on the 7th time, blow the candle out. And, gosh. It's not that. It's just, like she asked me, do I think it's real? And I'm like, it's a story. Just like any other story. Over time it grows to some believability from people because it gets long removed. Like you said on the Mormons, they're the most comical of the religions, in my opinion. What?
When I lived in Springfield as a child, we always had weird shit happen.
She says she had weird shit happening in Springfield as a child.
Like
she grew up in Springfield.
Springfield, Tennessee?
Yeah. Well, she was born in Kansas, then she flew to a military base in Germany, then came to Tennessee or whatever. I guess her dad was the 101st. Huh? Military brats.
Did she have a dog named Toto?
Did you have a dog named Toto? He's making fun of your Kansas. Well,
I'm throwing in movie references.
Come on, mister. Listen, pumpkin shirt, okay?
Now, let me guess. You've never seen The Wizard of Oz either, right?
What? Yes, I've seen The Wizard of Oz. I've been to Liberal, Kansas. What are you talking about? I've seen the Yellow Brick Road. You didn't. There's a big meet. Huh?
Take Amy next weekend.
She said take Amy next weekend and go support Adams because Portland doesn't have a good old banker boy fucking play. Fucking you play.
She's always wanting to go over there.
Where?
Adams.
Who? Amy?
Yeah, she loves all that
Take
stuff.
her out there then.
She wants me to take her to Salem, Massachusetts.
What? Okay. Well, she said take her out there and have a beautiful evening. Is what the Hobbit it's $25 to take your chair or a blanket. We took a blanket and laid on the ground on the hill.
What is it? A movie?
It's a play. There's pictures back here. Hold on a second. See the pictures? It's a play.
It's a musical play.
They're a bunch of actors. It's like it's not really a musical.
They call it that.
Hey,
they call it a musical. It's not a musical.
We like plays.
Yeah, but see, it's just a bunch of people in a play.
Yeah, I remember that too, Dave. I was born in '79, so we're right there.
I can't see. What they?
I see.
Oh man, our podcast just got more viewers because my face is gone.
How much was the shirt that come with the $25?
No, she bought that.
An extra 25?
Was it an extra 25 for the shirt? Yeah, you're gonna have to buy Amy a shirt.
No,
yes, you do.
She's got a cricket. She could have made her own shirt.
He said you got a cricket, make your own.
I wanted theirs.
She wanted theirs.
So I can remember what it meant.
Well, that's what they're making them.
Well, hey, look, I'm telling you, we stopped at Little Caesars in White House and got some pizza.
I love those
And
things.
we got some pizza and we got a cooler and some Cokes and ice and
Tell them
carried
you
it.
can have a picnic on the ground.
Yeah, you can have a picnic on the ground. And
I'm taking a chair. My big ass ain't getting out on the ground.
why? Because
Well, because got to get it back up.
but no, it was pretty cool. It was a cool little place. I liked it. It was a neat little play. But like I said, on the way home, she's talking about, well, do you think it's real? And I said, well, like over time, right now, most people agree the Mormon story is bullshit. There was probably a time where people thought the Mormons, or the Quran and the Muslims was bullshit, but it's grown in popularity, just like other religions that date back further.
Right. But see, that's the kind of things that we need to bring to this town instead of people always going outside of town for things.
That's what I said. And, you got the volunteer Bank FU fuckboy club, which is that's Portland.
What
Portland
doing,
story.
Dubbers? What doing, Dubbers?
Should we write a story about how the two banks that sprung up in Portland stole the town? Maybe we should write that play.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could get it put over there in the gazebo on the square. But people are scared of those people. But
It's a doggy. It's a doggy.
not another one. You want to run that one over too?
No.
You're not going to run that one over. Why you don't want to buy another one?
The last one I ran over cost me $1,000.
You did it on purpose, according to your wife. That's why you got to take her out there and buy her a shirt. But you can take them chairs or whatever, folding chairs.
She got a bow tie.
If you want to be in the front of the stage or whatever, under the crowd, it's 30 a person. But if you just want to sit in bring your own chair or whatever, it's 25 a person. She says she liked it out she didn't want to be under there. It's too crowded.
She's a hobbit. She's used to being close to the ground.
He said, "You're a hobbit. You're used to being close to the ground." I had to relay that message, but no, I don't want to keep people too long. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I know you got to get. Yeah, you got to go to work earlier.
Yeah. I don't want what. I need some rest, but anyway, before I go, I'm gonna reiterate again, people. This week, starting the 19th, starts early voting. Thursday and Friday, the 20th and 21st, here in Portland, you can early vote at First Baptist Church here in town. Hopefully, I'm going to have people out there represent me on Thursday and Friday, and I'll try. I'm going to be there Friday. Of course, you can't be in the polls or right outside the door, but I'll be there in case anybody wants to has any questions or wants to talk, and I'll be there holding my sign so people can flip me off or cuss me or wave at me or whatever they want to do.
I'll give you a smack on the ass.
I don't know about all that.
You don't know about all that? Well, they catch you in the bathroom peeing. You pee like Butters.
Butters?
Yeah, you pull your shirt up and you got your pants down around your. I walked in and seen that. I did not want to see it. Like, oh, God damn it. Shit, I did not mean to see that. I could have lived the rest of my life without.
Sometimes you just got to let everything air out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was scary.
or maybe I done that because I knew you were coming there and I was used to seeing your ass riding around there. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you got me. Yours was much more illuminated and close up. There was no glass between. There was no, it wasn't like I was visiting you at prison. It was like I was like, oh shit, is he dropping the soap in the shower? Son of a bitch.
And remember, go to my Charles Cole for Mayor Facebook page if you want to like and follow.
You ain't made that real Facebook yet.
Vote for the Big Spoon. No, I'm not make the real one. I got that one. And I'm not going to pay extra money so I can say this is paid for by.
Okay. We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all next week.
Don't know what time, but we'll be on.
Be early, right? Or late, maybe. I don't know.
We'll see. Late by here.
Hey, y'all get out and vote.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
fall victim to all the scam fakeness of the current mayor.
See y'all later.